Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's nice. So today we are going to cover chapter 4 today. And in chapter 4, your next part would be visa. Okay, so what is the full form of visa? Visitors International Stay Admission. Okay, so that's the full form of visa. Moving ahead, we all know what is visa. Visa is a conditional authorization, okay, granted by the polity, that is, by the country for a foreigner. If you will have to enter any of the country, you should be granted by, let's say, by the permission, or you have to be granted by a permission um, to live in the country or to leave the country. Okay, to stay in the country or to leave the country. Okay, so you require a permission, right? Or to enter a country also you require a permission. Now, if I say visa technically depends upon the duration of the foreign stay. Okay, how much time the person is staying for, what type of visa is taking upon. Now, as we all know, we have different types of visas. Okay, coming slides I will tell you about that. But based on the stay, okay, he should be able to get the visa. Now, if it's actually a student visa, then yes, most of the countries providing until then. Okay, if it's a 1 year one, it's a 1 year visa. Plus, you would be given for a post stay back and things like that. Okay, for 2 3 years. So it's a total of 3 years. If a 1 year course, you would be able to stay there for 3 years course. 3 years. You would be given a 3 years visa. Now, if you're given up with, let's say, a tourist visa, it could be, just for 3 months or so, or a month. Okay, it could be 6 months or anything. Now, if it's a visitor visa, yes, of course, visitor's visa will only be given of 180 days. It's for 6 months. Okay, so after 6 months, he has come here. He shouldn't be, before that visa is getting over, he needs to be moving back to the country. Okay, his own same country, and he wouldn't be able to travel back into this country for again 6 months. Okay, after 6 months only he would be able to travel back. So this is how the visas process work out. So it totally depends upon the foreigners stay in the country, and what and all dates they are permitted in, and where and all they are supposed to go, what is the permitted visits for them. So there is actually multiple entry visas, okay, which states that the person can exit and enter a country not many times. Okay, so all the conditions is based on a person's visa. Okay, so that is actually the visa introduction. Okay, so if at all, so a visa is something which is given to a foreigner. Okay, even if let's say if a person from if a British person is coming into India, he should be given an Indian visa approval. If not, he wouldn't be able to enter into the country. So that's the same thing happens with other countries also. Okay, they should have a visa uh, which is actually applicable. Okay, so everywhere this visa comes into action, if you will have to enter a country, exit a country, or if you'll have to stay in a country also. If your visa has already been expired, it is illegal to stay in that particular country. Okay, so that's against the rules. So there are other jurisdictions for that. Moving on to the next slide, it is the permission given by the government of a country, okay, to a person to visit and stay in the country for a specified period of time. So this is what I said. It's actually a permission given by the government, okay, of that particular country. Let's say if a person needs to enter into India, then it's a permission given by the government of the country, India, to make that person stay. If you'll have to go to UK, then yes, UK government needs to be giving this, stating that okay, this person is admitted by us to stay in this particular country for so and so years. So that's how the procedures will be. So now if you come here, And generally, okay, I'll state about that later on when I talk about the travel documents. Now, the approval of the immigration officials of the country is also required to enter the country and to enter entry point apart from visa only. Now, let's say you have been given the visa, okay, in your passport, the visa has been printed, okay. Now, to enter into a country, it is not as simple as that. Because you have got a visa, you wouldn't be able to enter in. The government has permitted for you, yes, where checking on your various documents, checking on your various profiles, they found that you worthy to be stayed in that particular country, and they say, okay, fine, you come and stay in our country, but to exit India, okay, to exit India, you need to pass the immigration. Great. Immigration is something where you go after you check in, when you're traveling internationally. You go to the counters, okay, immigration counters, the immigration staff will be there. Now he will ask you a number of questions. What's your name? Why are you traveling to this destination? It now, if it is for student, okay, which university? What are you going to study? Sometimes we feel the questions are taunting, but that's how they catch hold of you, okay? You're lying or you're going for something else. So this is how, with one visa, people would be going for another thing. So that is actually illegal. So it needs to be accepted by the entry point, which is India. Now, if at all you're entering into UK, then in UK also you have immigration point, right? Now, India has granted you an exit from that particular country. Now, you are going to enter UK. That time, the immigration staff will again ask you, why have you come here? Where do you stay? Okay, how many years of course? Which course you are taking up? All these questions will be shooted back to back. And when if they found that your all the things has been irrelevant, then they immediately cancel your visa. So you need to be going back. Okay. Now, if they found everything is fine, they give you an entry visa. So that is how the entry and exit visa happens. Now, how is this visa been taken? What is the method of issue? Normally, visa applications are made at and collected from the consulate, okay, embassy or other diplomatic missions. So usually, it is collected from consulate, or it is collected from embassy or other diplomatic missions. So if you say all Indian passports goes to the embassy, okay, embassy of that particular one, which is there in Delhi, and from Delhi, so everyone can't go and collect from the embassy. So what they do is they do a partial service to the respective country codes. Okay, so the person needs to go to the cargo offices and need to collect their passports from there. So that's how the thing comes. Now let's move on to the next slide, which is types of visa. Now, types of visa. You have student visa, you have tourist visa, you have employment visa, and you have medical visa. Now, you have many such other visa, which is a visitor's visa too. Okay, I have not included in it. You can put up your visitor's visa also. Okay, then you have something called as education visa. Okay, but education visa now has been intertwined with the student visa itself. Okay, so these are the types of visas. I believe you can put visitors visa. I can put it here. Actually, tourists and visitors, it's the same. Tourists and visitors is the same, but still we will mention it up because there shouldn't be a confusion. Now, we are actually defining the visas. Okay, a student visa is required when a student wants to pursue higher education in other country. Now, let's say a person wants to study something a higher, okay, a PG or let's say a master's. Then obviously, if he needs to study in another country, then he should be having the student visa, okay, given by that particular country. Now, an employment visa is required when a person wants to work in a country let's say he has been granted, and it is not only for any other countries, even Middle East countries will grant you the employment visa, right? The Dubai, let's say Qatar, if you need to be, if any company is given you work there, it is their sponsorship, or you would be given an employment visa, okay, which would be given in the form of a sheet, okay, stating that this is the employment visa. Or for the student visa, generally people tend to travel to UK, US, Canada, those type of visas. I mean, those type of countries. For those types of countries, a visa form, it's actually not given in a sheet. It would be printed on your passport, okay, for 3 months. Now, everyone would ask me that when a student is going for a year, why could the 3 months come? Now, it is simple. That visa would be valid until you leave the country. Now, there would be a date mentioned. Let's say now today is 26th. So, February, March, April. So, April 26th. Before April 26th, you need to be leaving India. So, that's how the policy goes. Okay. Before 26th, you need to be leaving India. Okay. So, you are leaving after 26th, then there is no point in traveling, because they will not allow you, because the expiry date has already happened. Now, before 26th, you are leaving India, you need to be entering into that country before 26th. Okay, so that's how the process goes. Um, and then that visa will not be valid, whatever is printed on your passport. Whereas when you enter into other countries, they would be giving you a card, okay, which is called as a BRP card. You would be collecting it. It's not actually, not only in it is there in every country mostly now. It's a biometric card, okay, where your entire details would be written on that particular card, okay. So it's actually one of the travel document too, okay. So that is the usually employment visa is given on a sheet of paper, great, and in the country you need to come here and collect up your BRP cards. So all those process and procedures comes up later, okay. And you have the next one, which is medical visa. Medical visa is only those type of visa which would be actually only be given on basis of your doctors, okay. If your doctors are saying that yes, we don't have certain type of treatment here, okay, in this country, so he or she needs to be traveling to India for his medical treatment, okay. Now that could be for 3 months or 4 months. Now that is actually done on the basis of the person's treatment, okay. So for that it would be granted, okay, but only with your doctor's permission. Now, tourist visa. Tourist visa is something where a person is coming to visit a country or recreation purpose or leisure travel or anything as such, okay. He's coming there, he's visiting the country. Now, usually the tourist visa will stay up to 3 to 6 months. Same goes with the visitor's visa. So, visitor's visa, if they are coming to visit their family or anyone of that type, they would be allowed for 6 months. After 6 months, they need to be exiting that particular country. Okay. Moving on, immigration. Now, what is immigration? It's an action to live permanently in a foreign country. Okay, so you are entering into a country. You are invited. You are entering into a country. So, immigration is the international movement of people to a destination country of which there are no natives or where they do not possess citizenship in order to settle as a permanent resident. So, what is an immigration? Immigration is something where you are invited to live in one country, okay, where you are not a citizenship, you are traveling on a base of visas, okay. If you have a citizenship, then yes, you will be having a green card or a BRP card, okay. So you would not be a citizenship, and you are allowed, you are not a permanent resident there, but you are traveling there as a commuters, or you are traveling there as a student, or you are traveling there as for research purpose, you are traveling there as a tourist, you are traveling there for a treatment. So all these actions will only be given permission by the immigration staff. So these are immigration. So that is called as immigration. Now, what is immigration? So immigration is something where you're leaving a country, act of one's own country to settle permanently in another, moving abroad. So you're leaving from, let's say, for example, you're leaving from India to UK. So it's immigration. Okay. Now in UK, when you arrive in UK, I said you there are staff who ask questions, okay, to put a stamp on your passport. They are immigration. Now, for example, you're traveling from UK to India. The people who give you an exit stamp are immigration. The people who give you entry stamp is immigration. So as simple as that. Okay. So now, immigration officials were overpowered to permit or reject entry of visitors. Now, usually we don't say anything as immigration. Okay, both entry and exit seals is given by immigration staff. So that's how we say immigration. Okay, but in general words, it's actually immigration, but we don't use it. We generally say it as immigration. So don't confuse yourself with the immigration. Immigration, just be aware of the word called as immigration more than enough. Okay. Now, the modern visa, okay, how could be the modern visa? I already told you it could be sticked into the passport. Okay, it can be sticked onto the passport, or a stamp size could be there on the passport. Okay, so it's an electronic record of automation where everything will be stored on their system and you could see everything. If they do a barcode scanning on the visa, it could come. All the details would come on the system. So you are not supposed to think that why he doesn't know what I'm going for. When he asks that for what you're going to study, now, all these is there in the system. Okay, then why is he asking? So this is where people get caught because in their visa it would be mentioned something else, but by the word of mouth they would be telling the truth. So this is how they get caught. Okay, and there are many such people who would be denied of entering a country or exiting a country. Okay, so usually how is this visa being printed? Visa being printed in a modern way. Visa is being printed on the passport pages. Okay, um, on the passport pages, and your biometric would be scanned there, your barcode would be scanned there, and your entire process comes up on that. It could be either a staff. Before it was a staff. Now everything, when you're exiting outside, everything is pasted as a sheet of papers, okay, on your passports. Now, visa application in advance of arrival gives country a chance to consider the applicant's circumstances such as financial security, reason for travel, and details of previous visit to the country. Okay, so if at all you need to be applying for a visa to another country, so you should be clearing out with all these things. That is, you should show that you're financially stable to enter into this country. Okay, because that in this country is not as easy as India. Okay, so if you're told you need to enter into a foreign country, then you need to be showing that you would be capable of handling yourself in that particular country. So you should be showing that you have a financial stability with you. You should be showing as what is the reason for you to travel from your country to your home country to another country. You should also be showing that have you traveled anywhere apart from this? Is this your first travel? You're traveling anywhere you had already traveled internationally? If yes, where and all have you traveled? How many days were you there? So all these things you need to be mentioning in the visa application forms. So visitors may also be required to undergo and pass security or health checks upon arrival at the port of entry. Now, usually we used to give our medical certificates before we enter into the country. Now, there is a possibility that before before the flight lands, okay, in the let's say the destination, there also they do a health check. So it's a rare one. Okay, at some certain places they do a random check. Okay, if they feel that you are totally sick or something like that, then they start asking you for what is the reason and all those things. So we all know we have a set of vaccinations also coming up, right? So I will tell you about that when I talk about the passport and other travel documents. Okay, now some polities means, don't get confused of yourself. Polities means it is country. Okay, So some policies which restrict immigration require individual to possess an extra visa to leave the polity. This exit visa may be required for citizens, foreigners, or both depending on policies of the polity concerned. Unlike ordinary visas, exit visas are often seen as an illegitimate intrusion on individual right to freedom of movement. Imposition of an exit visa requirement may be seen to violate customary international law, as the right to leave any country is provided. So, some countries, okay, they are very much dangerous. Okay, they don't give you an entry visa just like that. Okay, with that entry visa only, on your next sheet of passport, they would also give you an exit visa. So if at all they're giving, if at all you're not granted in, if you're granted in the country, they will put an entry visa onto the visa whichever you have got, or they would put a stamp onto the exit visa. That means you are not being selected. Please go back to your home country. So that is how it has been given. So usually, this is given for the foreigners. Okay, and the person who was coming into the other country. Okay, with you know they are not depending upon the policies and things like that. And these all happens when they feel that you are coming here for another purpose, but your visa says something else. Okay, they feel some sort of mistakes in your way of speaking. So that's they are actually meant to be that. That's the reason CISF and all are there. They will come to know for what reason you're visiting your country and how genuine are you in answering your question. So when they feel or when they are satisfied, then they grant an entry. If not, they say please exit outside of our country. Okay, as simple as that. So nowadays they are not putting the exit visas, okay, onto the passport. It's just because we people are a little more scared. Okay, they tend to be proven right now. So apart from that, the visa rejections are now very less. Okay, very less compared to before. Okay, now we have something called as transit visa. Okay, what is transit visa? Don't read the entire thing. I'm just going to say in a simple way. Transit visa is something where you're passing a country. For example, okay, you are traveling to USA. Oh, okay, wait. Okay, you're traveling to USA. Let's keep it like that. Okay, traveling to USA from India. Okay, so your flight is actually from India to Dubai, Dubai to USA. Now, when you have a stopover flight and you're moving, that is, let's say 10 o'clock, your flight is there from India to Dubai. From Dubai, you have a flight by night 9 o'clock. Then you don't require a transit visa. Okay, you require a transit visa when you have a flight after 3 days, or let's say after 4 days, okay, or after a week. Okay, so if you need to step out of the airport to that particular country, you require a transit visa. So from India to Dubai, you land at Dubai. From Dubai, you have your US flight after 1 week. Great. For 1 week, you can't sit in the airport, right? You feel like exploring Dubai. So what you do, you will have to get out of the airport. For getting out of the airport, you should of course have a visa of Dubai. Dubai should have given you the visa which states the transit visa. Now that is actually for a particular time. Okay, it could be for short terms, like I said, you for 2-3 days, or for few hours. Okay, it's just for few hours or something they might give you just to explore the country and get back to your own process. So that is transit visa. Okay, the middle country is playing a role there. They are also giving you a visa to explore their country for some times. Okay, now airside transit visa is required when you're passing through the airports. Now let's say even without going to the passport control. So that is where you're not going to the immigration. Okay, from the air side only you are moving on to another airport. Okay, they are taking on by bus to another airport. So that is called as airside transit visa. So it's rarely given now because everything goes via procedure, because they need to come to the passport control and then move on. Now, crew member, steward, or driver visa is something where, these are the type of visa which is given to the staffs, okay, to the employers. Now, we generally know that crew, travel regularly, okay, Dubai to USA, USA to UK, UK to India, India to Pakistan, all these kind of things they travel. So what they do is they should be granted. So they don't have the very next day flight, or they don't have a very same day flight back to their home country. So they should be given a visa approval by the immigration of that particular country. So usually what they do is visas would be given by that particular country for a 1 day stay or 2 day stay until their next flight. Okay, so that is called as a crew member visa. Okay, so every crew is traveling internationally should have a crew member visa until or else he or she wouldn't be permitted. Now, what is short stay or visitors visa? Great. Visitors visa is something where country is giving you permission to stay in that particular country. Okay, let's say for 3 months or 6 months. It's abbreviated up to 180 days usually. Okay, so it is where they have a short visit visa where different countries give on different basis. Some gives on 3 months, some gives on 6 months. So it is based on that. Now, if you talk about private visa, okay, private visa is something where you are invited into a country, or let's say your uncle stays in the country. Okay, your uncle stays in Dubai and you have been asked to visit for his son's wedding. Great. So you would be given a private visa by your uncle because he is a resident of that particular country. So that is a private visa. Tourist visa, I already told you, people will be traveling for a leisure travel. Okay. Medical visa, I told you, it's for diagnostics. Okay, if you do not have a treatment in your home country, then you would be sent to another country. Now, business visa, great, where your work visa also comes into business visa. Okay, and there are people who are traveling for 1 or 2 days just for business purposes. So it is actually also called as a business visa. Now, working holiday visa is where individual is traveling between nations offering a working holiday program. So there are some countries which offers you a working holiday program. Like internationally, India is not providing that. Internationally, if you see, most of the countries will say that you are being allowed to go to Singapore for your vacation. Okay, so your country, your organization is giving you a visa stating this, please please enjoy your holiday and come back. So this is how the working holiday visa comes up. Athletic or artistic visa is something where it's given to the athletics for your Olympics and all, they need to be going, right? So it is given to the athletics. Refugee visa is given for the danger of persecution. Okay, if they have any problem in their country and they are fleeing on to the other country, okay, they would be given as a refugee visa. Pilgrimage visa, of course, it is for religious traveling. Okay, your Mecca, Medina, and all those things you travel, right? So those visas are given on pilgrimage visas. Digital normal visa is for those type of temporary visa, okay, which is actually given into remote work. And now it's something like an industrial area work visa, okay, where you just go to the industrial area for a small job of work. Usually Canada, Quebec has been giving you that because it's an industrial area. Okay, and they require a lot of normal workers there. So for them, these kind of visas has been given. Long stay visas, great. Now there are certain long stays visas. What are the long stays visas? Now, long stays visas would be your student visa. Okay, as I said, you're staying for an year. If your course is for 1 year, then you're staying for an year. Plus, they would give you another 2 more years of stay. Okay, for your post study visa, they would be giving you another 2 more years of extra stay. So it's a total of 3 years visa, right? So student visa. So if you have a course of 2 years plus 2 years, so 4 years visa. So that's how the work comes up. Now, Research visa is something where this is also given by the host country, okay, whoever is hosting you. Now, let's say I have come into UK. UK, I have my own research work to be done, okay, but I need to be going back to my home country to do my research. That time, what I will do, I will take an overseas permission stating that I want to do my research in my home country. So could you please allow me to go there? So usually they don't allow it because it's very risky. But they tend to make it up. Okay, sometimes if they find genuine, and it is actually given by the international countries itself to do the research. They are granting the students to go to their home country. Now, temporary work visa is something where you are going only for a temporary work. It's not. It's it's like your approved visa, right? For your approved work visa from the host country, you're getting it. Okay, for a work visa, I'm taking this guy to my country. So that is how the process goes. Now, journalist visa is something where they are traveling for their from their news organizations. Okay, on the base of their news organizations, they are traveling. Residence visa, great long distance residence where they are staying for a long time, and they have obtained their BRP, they have obtained their green card, they are the resident of that particular country, so they are allowed a number of entry and exits. Okay, so those are long stay visas. What is an asylum visa? Asylum visas is given to those people, okay, by their own country to, you know, uh, so they are actually exiled from their own country, okay, from their, it's a kind of a refugee visa, but they have, got through a lot of persecutions, okay, a lot of problems. Mhm. So that type of visa is called as asylum visa. What's a dependent visa? Dependent visa is that you are moving on. You have one person there, so uh, on dependent of him now, an husband and child can go if his wife is there. Okay, on the dependent of it, or a wife and her son or daughter can go if her husband is there. So it's those kind of visas where you're one of the person is already there in the country and you're going as their dependent into that particular country. So that is a dependent visas. Now, immigrant visas, there are some of the immigrant visas. What is that? First one, spouse visa or partner visa, where I told you husband or wife is traveling. Okay, because your husband or wife is there in that country, you're traveling as a dependent for them. Family member visa is where any of your family members can be traveling there. Okay, but just for it would be a short term as how the visitors visa come up. Marriage visa is granted for a limited period, okay, where intended or conclusion of a civil partnership based on proven relationship. Now, let's say marriage visa is something where I am getting married to an Britisher, okay. So those visa is given as a marriage visa. So rarely happening. It won't generally happen. Very rarely happening. Pensioner visa is something where this is given by only certain set of companies. Okay, it's a retirement kind of visa where they can travel to another country. Okay, so if you see Australia, Argentina, Thailand, and Panama, and some other are also given based on this. Okay, so you have worked for the whole of the country, whole of your time until your very last stage. Then you want to go to your home country and come back. So those kinds of visas is called as pensioner visa. Okay, it's truly rare happening to that because none of the people will love to move from their host country. Now, official visas are there. These are granted to the official doing jobs for the government. Okay, so generally it could be any military officers or any head of the state or things like that. They are traveling for their